Before we continue with today's video, I would very much like to invite everyone watching it to really focus on the title. No, it is not clickbait. If we focus on the semantic significance of the word could, we are indeed talking about a possibility here. But that possibility is not based on pure assumption, but word we can trust from a reliable source, and also an authority on the matter. What is up, you damn beautiful and gorgeous gamers, and welcome back to Role-Playing James. Why don't you take some time to like the video if you find this information useful, and probably subscribing as well. Who knows, you can find interesting stuff if you like RPGs and if you browse around the channel. Now, you may know Planescape Torment as one of the most critically acclaimed RPGs ever, thanks to its beautifully written narrative. That game was brought to us by Chris Avellone, our source today. To cite some of his credentials, he has been part of the narrative design of games like Neverwinter Nights 2, Icewind Dale games, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Pathfinder Kingmaker, to name a few. And as you can see, we have major titles here, the titans of the RPG world, both old and modern. That is why I call him an authority. If the writer of some of the best games is not an authority on the matter of the gaming industry, especially on the RPG side of the industry, then I do not know who is. And as you can see, we are not discussing here based on an insider, which can be dubious to trust every single time. It doesn't mean, of course, that we should not take these statements with your usual degree of sodium take. Apparently, the development team at Avowed has been losing directives left and right, which is not a new thing when we talk about Xbox Studios, as you can already see on my coverage content for Fable. According to our today's source, I will be, of course, taking the statements into a script, but I will leave the source on the video description so you can take a look by yourself, since I do not partake in yellow journalism. Now, that being said, to make the tweets brief, it all started on a discussion on Fallout and the possibility of our writer, Avellone, working on it. It all transcended into someone asking why not joining Obsidian on Avowed, to which his response was the following, quote, "They keep losing leads on that project. Not a good sign," end of quote. It all escalated in Avellone revealing a little bit more of insight as to what has been happening inside of Obsidian, with losing lead designer, narrative designer, game director, and in words of Avellone, other folk, he thinks. And if you would like to hear my perspective side of things, Chris does make it sound like the situation is quite turbulent inside of the studio. Quote, "Lead designer got shoved off the grounded. Same with art lead, I think. Original project director got demoted and replaced, went on a sulk leave for a long time, may still be on a sulk leave, got replaced by someone else in the studio, rest quit, according to Grapevine," end of quote. Now, that being said, do please remember, this is Twitter, people. Have that in mind. This is coming from Twitter, the place where your aunt is calling your mama an ungrateful communist because she did not want to lend her a pen. That does not mean it's all false, of course, but that we should add a little perspective to all of this information. While people entering and leaving the company is not indicative as to how the progress of games are doing, it is an undeniable truth that every person has a style and spirit. When a game lead designer of a specific field is shifted, another one has to take his place. How do you continue another person's work while still maintaining the same spirit and not feeling like it was stitched here when the change happened? We also have to take in consideration that Xbox has not been a stranger to cancelling games already in advanced stage of development. Fable Legends and Scalebound are living memories of such titles. However, Scalebound was a third-party developer exclusive, while Avowed is an in-house studio game. Let's have in mind as well that, so far, Obsidian's titles have been success after success, even while they were on their own. Now, they have the full support of Xbox and probably the other studios such as Inxile and Bethesda, that could add their potential talents and veterans to help them around here and there. Let's have in mind as well that, as recently said by Josh Sawyer, who is working on another game on Obsidian, both Avowed and the Other Worlds 2 are in playable state. I do not doubt that there is indeed some switching of directives inside of the company, and I would very much be lying if I said that it doesn't causes me great concern because of how you leave your spirit onto something and someone else has to pick it up from where you left. But still, being neutral on matters and clear-headed about it we cannot fully understand how internally is the company functioning right now, based on this kind of information and statements that do not allow us to know the reasons and why of all these things. I would very much like to stay positive and think that Avowed will be a great game that will add up value to the modern RPG world. That being said, do let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about all of this information? What do you think about all of these statements? I would very much love to hear your thoughts on the matter. That being said, I'll be seeing you them beautiful, sexy gamers in the next one. And remember that if no one has told you today that you're a damn gorgeous and beautiful person, then you're a damn gorgeous and beautiful person. I'll be seeing you later.